your debt first, then we do this tool.
Yeah, yeah.
So any questions about that? Any other questions? Okay. Let's put this into practice.
Wait,
Now we're,
sorry,
yeah, that's okay.
So like some would say that like mortgage debt is actually not that bad because like if you in real estate terms, if you pay off your mortgage, your cash on cash is bad. Like, and you're just using other people's money, especially if you rent it out.
Right.
You're also using
So
other
what
people's
you're
money.
saying is that if you own a house free and clear, that it's not as good as having a mortgage. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, sometimes depending on what you want to do, like if you rent it out, then you have your basically other people paying off your mortgage for you. You have
Right.
that extra cash flow. You can either invest it, and you have
Which is great. That's awesome. That's
and
cash
you don't
flow.
have to, and the money that you would have paid it off, you could invest in another property.
Right.
That's like how, yeah.
So we're going to accelerate that concept where you just, right? Before, yes,
Well, if it's paid off, you're making even more money.
yes, because what happens when you pay it off?
Yeah, all you gotta do is worry about the expenses.
Don't have
It's
anyone
the
pay.
property taxes and.
The mortgage payment goes away. In this case, $1,800. All of a sudden, you got $1,800 a month that just came to you because you paid it off. Now she's talking about, well, it's better to leverage someone else's money. We're leveraging somebody else's money. Is that your money in the line of credit?
Oh, okay, no,
No.
I didn't know about this.
No,
one.
no, I
I thought
understand.
It's
I'm
just
just,
like,
I'm
okay,
sort of
yeah.
bringing you to the point that I know that you're going on this.
Yeah,
What-
but in a different
you're-
way, yeah.
So we get into other things talking about trapped equity. You got equity in property that's not doing you anything, right?
Yeah.
So you want to be able to get that trapped equity out and start doing other things to accelerate your
Okay.
cash flow. But right now, we just want to get debt free first. Yes?
Is that a write-off?
I'm not an accountant. She's recording me. So talk to your accountant about that. But it is debt against your property if it's a home equity line of credit. Okay. $25,000 limit on your line of credit. Is that your money?
No.
No. They gave, because you're a great person, they gave you a credit line of $25,000. Your debt to income ratio was good. Your credit score was good. They gave you access to $25,000. Okay? Traditionally, you said $15,000 on this line of credit, 12%. What is the bank going to tell you? Let's do a refi. You know, let's get rid of this payment. Let's move it over here. Let's make this 285 turn into $300,000, and we're going to give you a lower rate, 4%. Doesn't that sound like a great idea? You're paying 12% over there. Do you want to keep paying 12%? No. Over here you can do 4%. Is that a good deal?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's a good deal to do that?
No, but it starts all over.
Huh?
4%, yeah.
But you're starting the loan all over
Oh,
again.
I see, no.
You're back here again. So really, what did you just do? You made the mortgage bigger, right? And it's coming in over here now. Even though it went from 6 to 4, I fell into the same thing. I want to reduce my rate. But I'd rather just pay off the loan. So when I did the refi at 4%, the $1,800 goes to $1,432. That looks pretty good to me. I just increased my cash flow by $368, right? So what I did was, as I got rid of short-term pain, but I still have the long-term pain if I stay with this, right? That's only dealing with the short-term pain. So what can we do with the line of credit? You got 12% over here, 4% over here, amortize. Remember our little rule? What do? Double it,
Double.
and then you do what?
Yeah, sure.
Add a zero.
Obviously.
It's 80%, it's not 12%, right? So if you can use a higher rate to control cash flow, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Does that sound like a pretty good idea for you? Let's try it the other way. We got a $300,000 mortgage at 6%. We've got the limit of $25,000 at 12%. Let's use that as a tool. And let's put $15,000 into the mortgage. Now, is that going to change the mortgage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where?
No, it's not.
It's gonna change the principal.
It'll change the principal of, but it's not going to change your payment. Your payment's still going to be $1,800.
Just saving,
You'll save interest, but where are you going to save the interest?
because you're paying less on the principal. It's over time.
What happens is when you put that $15,000 in there, and this is it gets back here. They put it to the back end. They don't let you put it up here. Why would they let you put it up here?
Yeah.
Because they don't want you there. They want all that. But they'll let you put it back here.
Yeah. So you cut the time down.
Cut the time down, exactly. So you got debt over here now, right? We put they gave us a $25,000 limit, that was not our money. We took $15,000, wrote a check, and put it into our mortgage. That's called an extra principal payment. We reduced the principal balance on our loan. And that debt went over there. Now we gotta deal with that debt that's there. Same debt, before it was $300,000, after it's $285 and $15,000 with a line of credit. Nothing really changed, we just transformed the debt. We moved it from a long-term vehicle to a short-term vehicle. Remember we talked earlier about how if you're borrowing money, you want that to be in the short term, not in the long term. $15,000, where does that put you on the amortization if you're just starting this loan? 4 years into the loan. By putting, that would be your principal right there. If you put that in the front, it automatically take you right to 285. You guys agree with that? Okay. 45 months. 45 payments times $1,800 is $81,000. $15,000 went to principal. $66,000 went to interest. Now we took $15,000 and put it in the mortgage. Do you think that we could save $66,000 in interest doing that? Yeah, we can do that. There's the $66,000 right there in interest that you pay in the first 4 years. So here we've got $15,000 principal, $153 a month on the left side, and your $1,800 a month on the right side, but then we're talking $66,000 in interest on a $15,000 principal. In order to get to this amount of money right here, $153 a month times 360 months, which is the full length of the mortgage, is only $55,000. It's not even this number here in the first 4 years. You look at it again, $66,000 divided by the payment of $153 a month is 431 months. 35.9 years, even longer than the 30 years before the mortgage, to get to that amount of interest. I'm just showing this to you, show how ugly that interest is. That's ugly interest. $15,000 times 118%. You'd have to have a line of credit at 118% in order. Yes, sir? Yeah, wow. Got a lot of questions. We gotta rush it up. 44 months at 118% to get you to the $66,000. So here, we took the line of credit, we put $15,000 into an extra payment here. What it does is it saves you $65,584 in interest. The amortization calculator that you put up on the spreadsheet will do that for you automatically. $298 toward principal over the loan. If you re-amortize that, it would be $374, but you can't re-amortize the loan. You can only put that principal toward the back end. I'll show you how that works. You are saving $65,000 in 45 months if you could re-amortize the loan. But this is what's really happening. You put the $15,000 in, he said it earlier, you go from 360 to 316. Instead of 360 months, it's 316 months because you put $15,000 in the beginning. $282,000 in interest, $348,000 in interest. The difference is what interest you saved by putting $15,000 in the beginning, $65,583. So it's pretty close to the $66,000 that we're talking about on the front end. On the back end, it pulled everything up by, 34 months? So we put a chunk into our mortgage, $15,000, we saved 45 months. Interest saved is $65,584. If we do it again, we save 80 months. And the interest saved is $113,000, yes?
When do you put the 15,000? When do you put the next 15,000?
That's the beauty of the tool. So you use it the first time, then your next, what do you have to do next?
15,000.
You pay down the line of credit. You let this go down to zero, the line of credit go down to zero before you do it again.
But you have 25,000 line of credit.
We only use 15. We had a $25,000 line of credit, but we only used
The
$15,000.
other 10,000 we can just use.
Well, it's just sitting there. We're not doing it, using it for anything right now. And if you had $1,500 a month cash flow, how long would it take you to pay down the line of credit? You got $15,000, 10 months. After 10 months, you can do this again. Then we do it again. We pay this down. Say it takes 10 months. Everybody's situation is different. It might take 8 months or 12 months or 15 months. Then we do it again. But in this case, yes.
Wait, so why don't you just take out the whole 25 and then do it with 25,000?
Because you don't want to max out your credit.
Oh, you want to.
Yeah, you want to keep a little buffer in there so they don't shut down your line of credit and
Okay.
keep your debt to income low. If you don't need it, don't use it.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
So you do it again, you save 109 months, $149,000 in interest. You save $149,000 in interest, how much money did you use to do that?
45.
Is that cumulative or is that,
It's,
the first time is at 45 plus?
well,
80
every time you do a
plus 109?
chunk, you're saving that much, it's 45 to 80, right? So it's not,
How come you-
you're not adding it together.
Cause I would think we go 45 then 90, but it only went up.
Well, because you're further into the loan, it takes, you don't get the bang for the buck
Okay.
Yeah.
as you get into the loan. But what you're doing is you're taking $45,000 that you're doing this with, like on the wheel, to save $149,000, right? And I said you had $1,500 a month extra left over. She would say it takes 10 months. There's 10 months, 20 months, 30 months. So a little over 2 years, you save that amount of interest. Does that sound like a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. You guys should be like clapping. So how do we do this? Okay, I'm gonna have to go really quick because he already started to put the hook in my neck. Lines of credit, $50,000, $153 a month. This is the old way. You have your income, you put it in your checking account, you pay your expenses and your mortgage, and whatever left over, you do whatever you do with whatever left over. Leave it in checking or put it in savings or, maybe invest in some stock. So what we're doing is that we want to make the checking account the line of credit. We put money in and we pay our bills through the line of credit. So here it is. We put the line of credit in the middle, let it pay the expenses, and let it pay the mortgage.
So don't have a checking account.
You're basically replacing your checking account with your line of credit. But I'm simplifying it. Like for me, I have a checking account, I have a line of credit.
Okay, yeah, got it.
I deposit into the checking account. I transfer to my line of credit as a payment. When I need to pay bills, I transfer from the line of credit to my checking account and then make my bill payment through the checking account. It's just a little easier that way. The banks don't like that money. If you make a deposit in line of credit, it takes a long time for them to credit it to your account. So it's better to let the checking account do the hard work. But then, I could show this as a checking account right here. But as you get more involved into it, you'll see how that works. So in this scenario, we've got a $6,000 paycheck paid into the line of credit. We've used the $15,000 already to put it on the mortgage. That's the first chunk. Now we need to pay down the line of credit. So we have $6,000 a month. Every time we make a payment into our line of credit, it reduces the amount of interest that we're being charged, simple interest.
Yeah.
$15,000 starting balance, $6,000 in. Okay, this is the $50,000 that we pay to the mortgage. Then we put this $6,000 into the line of credit. What is that? It's a payment.
Yeah. I thought you said only 3,000.
The $3,000. This is the whole month now.
Oh, okay.
$3,000 and $3,000. Right? Some of you get paid twice a month.
Okay.
$6,000 deposit. You have a $9,000 balance left in your line of credit, right? You just reduced the amount of interest that they're charging you, but you had to pay expenses. $4,500 in expenses. Your new balance is $13,500. So we went from $15,000 to $13,500. Will that reduce the amount of interest that you owe? Yes. It'll go down to $137 a month. $16 less in interest a month. The first month, you go through that scenario, that's what happens. But then you start doing this for 10 months, your balance goes down from $15,000 down to ultimately to zero here. You got your income hasn't changed, your expenses haven't changed. What's left over goes toward principal. You do have to make interest payments, so it's not quite exactly. You're going to pay $660 for 10 months in interest on that line of credit, above and beyond all that money you saved on the mortgage that you paid. So that's $660 divided by 10 months is $66 a month.